Thank you. Depending on your political persuasion and appetite for drama, this Monday night figures to be much different from the corresponding Monday a year from now. See, that'll be election eve. And as Natalie Brand reports, the polls showing a 2020 rematch are starting to come in.
1 year out from the presidential election, and former President Trump, speaking outside a New York courtroom, says he's the one to beat.
The New York Times and CBS came out with a poll that I'm leading all over the place.
The New York Times released a new poll of 6 battleground states that shows Trump leading in 5 of them, states that Biden won in 2020. And a national CBS News poll out this weekend shows Trump with a slight lead within the poll's margin of error.
Where you see Trump voters thinking about this rematch feel more hopeful and motivated, but by comparison, those Biden voters, their top answers are nervous and frustrated.
The CBS poll shows that the number of Americans who believe things are going badly has increased to nearly 75%, with most voters signaling they're nervous about the economy. 45% of Americans surveyed believe their personal finances will be better off if Trump wins, compared to just 18% if Biden wins. President Biden has made the economy a cornerstone of his re-election bid. He met with Amtrak workers in Delaware Monday.
Folks, too many people have been left behind in the past, or treated like they're invisible. We're building an economy from the middle out and the bottom up, where no one's left behind.
On foreign affairs, 49% of voters polled believe President Biden's policies would increase chances of the U.S. in a war, compared to 39% under Trump. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
And when it comes to the war between Israel and Hamas, more voters, 57%, tell CBS News they believe Mr. Trump would provide just the right amount of support for Israel, as opposed to 43% who say the same about President Biden. Meanwhile, today, former President Trump taking the stand in the New York State civil fraud trial that could decide the future of his business empire. Shortly after getting sworn in, the judge had to call for a brief recess. He asked the former president's attorney to control his client. The judge chided Mr. Trump for giving his opinions and speeches and not answering questions. The former president testified he feels some of his properties are actually undervalued.
Donald Trump does very well in political campaigning when he explodes, but it doesn't work in court.
It's a very unfair situation. This is really election interference. That's all it is. This trial is ridiculous.
The case could cost Mr. Trump $250 million in penalties and bar his company from operating in New York. Last week, the president's 2 older sons testified, downplaying their connection to the financial records.